everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Comics with Callaway, and here we've got the January comic book sales from Comichron. They've just been uploaded. Number one shit was Wonder Woman 750. It was renamed to 750, not just the normal issues, variants. That one was always going to sell. Extra size, it wasn't really extra size. Thor number one got number 2 highest, then Star Wars got number 3, X-Men number 4, and then X-Men number 5. So let's have a look. Wonder Woman sold 167,000. That's crazy. Thor 1 we've got 158,000. But then check this out, if we go down, Thor 2, 51,000. So between issue 1 and 2, you've lost 100,000. In one issue, you've dropped 100,000 copies shipped. And I've read Thor 1, 2, and 3, and I found they were pretty good actually. I didn't mind it, but that just shows the state of the comic book industry these days, and that is a pure example of why Marvel reboots every year just to get the number 1, because number 1 will sell so much more than number 2 will just get significantly drop. That's great. 100,000 dropped from one issue to the next. And Donny Cates, he's a good writer, but he's not the best. And you get number 1, but then you hear from a lot of people that read the Venom and the Absolute Carnage, and they say it just sort of fell towards the end. It sort of just went to crap, and it didn't really finish well. It didn't stomp the landing. And then you get Donny Cates every now and then coming out on Twitter and having his rants at fans and stuff. And I think it's starting to show that people are just getting sick of it. People are tired of the professionals' nonsense on Twitter and online attacking the fans. To drop 100,000 issues from issue 1 to 2, you'd expect probably 20,000 at most, but 100,000, that's a third of the sales. Star Wars number 1 had 97,000. Where is it? Star Wars number 2 was somewhere. Let's see, let's have a look. Star Wars number 2, 44,000. So it dropped, just in one issue, it dropped 50,000. So it's dropped half its audience as well. Star Wars number 1, 97,000. Star Wars number 2, 44,000. In one issue, what's that, 50,000? That is crazy. X-Men number 4, 93,000. X-Men number 5, 80,000. So between 4 and 5, they dropped 13,000 issues. And if we go back, and I've got them written down here, X-Men number 1, Hickman's number 1, sold 255,000. 255,000 for number 1. That was expected after House of X, Powers of X. But then Hickman's number 2, X-Men number 2, sold 117,000. So that's like a drop of nearly 150,000, 130,000. So X-Men dropped from 1 to 2, dropped 130,000 issues. And then issue 3 was the crappy plant one, was with the old ladies and the green goo. The plant issue was 105,000. So from X-Men 3 was 105 to then X-Men number 4 down to 93, and then X-Men 3 was 105,000. X-Men number 4 was 93, and then X-Men number 5 is 80. That is, that's a lot of drop. Batman 86 was Tinian's first run at 61,000. So you look at that, you think, holy crap, that dropped even more than King. But if we go to 86, you got 61,000, and then you've got your variants, which are 18,000. So that takes it up 71, 81, so 80,000 issues. So 80,000 for Tinian's first run, then 87 was 56 and 17, so it's a little bit less. So yeah, they continue to drop each week, but Amazing Spider-Man holding 38. I'm yet to do a review on 39 and put it up, but I'll do that hopefully the next day or so. So 38 was 57,000, 37. Yeah, it's holding pretty strong. Curse of the White Knight's been good by Sean Gordon Murphy. Excuse me. 55,000. Iron Man Dan Slott's run. #1 reboot, 54,000. If that doesn't give Marvel enough evidence that they need to replace Dan Slott as a writer, I don't know what is. The sales were crap, and then they rebooted it with the same writer, and then #1, 54,000. And with the movies of how good Iron Man is, you think that'd be up a little bit more. And X-Force since #1 has been so much better than Hickman's run, but it's only holding at around 50,000. If you had Ben Percy writing X-Men and Hickman writing X-Force, X-Force would be selling more. But the only reason X-Men, even though the first 3 books were terrible, the sales were only so much better because it was Hickman. But if it was Percy, people wouldn't, So it was only because of the Hickman name is why they were so high at the start. But we'll see now that X-Men 4, 5, and 6 are starting to pick up. We'll see what their sales are, but the first 3 were just awful. Yeah, as I said, Thor #2 dropped 51,000 to 51,000, so it dropped 100,000. Excalibur, Teeny Howard, just awful, 48,000. Donny Cates Venom, 47. Immortal Hulk, 46. That's dropped. That was building up very good, and then the irony of Ewing, and then he done the capitalism and they started putting the politics in it, and then within 3 issues he dropped from like 80,000 down to 40,000. So in the back in the 90s and stuff, he would have been fired straight away for that. But current year, 2019, 2020, gender's more important. If it fails because of a gender, that's okay. Detective Comics down at 45,000. Star Wars #2, 44,000, so it dropped 50,000. Justice League 39, that was the last one of Snyder's run, 44,000. Superman Bendis, 43,000. So if we go Superman 19, 43,000. That's all of them. So that's including variants. Bendis can only sell 43,000 Superman. Yeah, it's time to get rid of him from DC too. That's bad. Ravencroft, Fallen Angels, that would be a lot better, but I think the art has really killed that, any momentum with that. Brian Hill is a great writer, and I think the story with the drugs in the mind, the technology drugs, or the data drugs, the software drugs, whatever you want to call it, is a good story, but the art has just been too dark and it's not been good, and I think that's why the sales are pretty bad with that. Avengers 38,000. Spawn 34,000. Deadpool, one of the most famous characters since all the movies, and just one of the most well-known characters now, 31,000. That's what happens when you put someone like Kelly Thompson on Deadpool. It just, people do not trust it. Daredevil. I was loving Daredevil when Chip Zdarsky took over, and the first 6 issues were really good. The art from Marco Cicchetto was just gorgeous art, and then I dipped out because the story sort of had a bit of a dip. And then they kept changing artists all the time. Every issue was a new artist, and every fill-in artist they brought in was just awful art. So then every time I thought I was going to get back, I'd like to get back into it, you'd see the previews and the art was just crap. So Daredevil, like the story is really good. People are loving the story, but I think if they kept Chichetto on every issue, it would be doing a lot more than 29,000. I think. Captain Marvel, the most popular character in the Marvel universe, 29,000. Flash, everybody knows Flash. Williamson, he's doing a good run on Flash, so I hear. 29,000. Look at this Action Comics 1018. That was awful. The art from that is just crap. So if we go Action, $29,000. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Then 9,000. So that takes it up. So say 30,000. Yeah, Action. Or 38,000 for an Action comic. One of Superman's main books. Bendis can't even sell 40,000 issues. So if I'm right in what I've heard is people get royalties after 40,000. If that's true, Bendis can't even get royalties on Action Comics or Superman. Pretty bad, isn't it? Shows how much of a has-been Brian Michael Bendis is. Well, here we go. Deadpool, the end, 28,000. Captain America with Ta-Nehisi Coates, 28,000. I guess that's what happens when you have Captain America taking on schoolyard bullies and incels under the bleachers, and taking on white misogynists. That's what happens. Miles Morales, Free Fall, 27,000. It's definitely in Free Fall. Legion of Superheroes, one of DC's most iconic franchises. Bendis is selling 26,000. Flash forward, Scott Lobdell's doing everything he can to fix what's happened to Wally West after Dan Didio and Tom King assassinated him and just ruined the character. Just assassinated his character, 24,000. Conan the Barbarian, 23,000. Harley Quinn, 23,000, but she's meant to be the most popular DC character. They've just ruined her character as well, 23,000. Another Spider-Man book. So many Spider-Man books. Punisher Soviet. That's a good run. I actually do love that run. Garth Ennis is amazing at Punisher, but Garth Ennis should be on the main Punisher book, but instead he just gets a mini series, and yeah, he should be on the main Punisher book, and Marvel should be advertising the hell out of it. Atlantis Attacks, the all Asian characters written by Asian writers, 19,000. Lois Lane by Rucker, in 18,000. That's just an awful series. Amazing Mary Jane, that's been pretty good with Leah Williams. She's been writing a good series. Now they're putting her on an X-Men book, X Factor, I think. So we'll see how that goes. The way X Factor's been advertised is just going to be a diversity agenda crap fest. Valkyrie Jane Foster, 18,000. This one really sucks. If you've watched my previous videos, Aquaman's is my favorite character. I wasn't much of a New 52 fan, but I did love Jeff Johns' Aquaman reboot and New 52. And I know not a lot of people like the Dan Abnett Aquaman run and Rebirth, but I liked it. And if I've got the written here, just before Aquaman the movie come out, Dan Abnett's final issue was issue 42. He left it at 38,000, so that's still pretty crappy for Aquaman. But we know not a lot of people like Aquaman, So that's 38,000. Then just after the movie came out was when Kelly Sue DeConnick took over. She took over at 43. And you know her, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. You know, the white man hating feminist that she is. So Dan Abnett at 42 had 38,000. Kelly Sue DeConnick's first Aquaman book at 43 was at 30,000. So just changing from Abnett to DeConnick dropped nearly 9,000 issues, and it was her first book. So Kelly Sue DeConnick from 43, she's had 30,000 sales, and then down to her latest one, 55 issue 55, she's dropped down to 17,000 issues shipped. So every issue that Kelly Sue DeConnick has brought out each month, she's dropped sales since she took over at 43. And then Kyle Higgins done this one-off at 56, and even a lot of people were saying it was better than way better than Kelly Sue DeConnick's run, but because she just destroyed the character, even one issue of Higgins couldn't even bring it up a bit. So DC needs to get rid of Kelly Sue DeConnick off Aquaman. She's just destroying it, and I won't read it. I don't. If you don't like her politics, don't buy her books. So I won't buy her books. Man-hating feminist that she is, no thanks. And this one does hurt my feelings because I love Aquaman and she's destroyed the character. Each month, she just loses sales after sales, and she gets rewarded because of current year politics. Batman and the Outsiders, I am reading this one. Brian Hill, he's a good writer, but the State of DC, 17,000. Suicide Squad, Tom Taylor, that just 17,000. I'm not sure what his first one was, but 17,000 for an issue 2. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Batgirl down to 16,000. Red Hood 15,000. Catwoman 15,000. Joelle Jones has been on that, and she's a good artist and good writer, but yeah, that's just the state of the comics industry. Magnificent Miss Marvel, the one they've made the video game on, 13,000. Bendis' silly Jessica Jones, 12,000. That he's not writing it, but he created her. Now we're getting down into all the indies and stuff and reprints. The Clock, I read number 1. That wasn't too bad. 10,000 from Image. Black Panther. I think that's Ta-Nehisi Coates. 10,000. You know, the movie makes nearly $1 billion or whatever it did, and they can't even sell the comics. We're getting down to all the indies and stuff now. G.I. Joe American Hero. This is the start of Larry Hammer's latest story arc. It's a 10-issue arc starting at 266. 8,000. I think that's actually, he was down to 5,000 a few issues ago. So word of mouth, actually, he's writing a good series. I've been reading that, 266 and 267 and 268. I'm yet to read 269, but it's been really good. It's about they kidnap Snake Eyes. It's pretty good. Check that one out. The art's really good for an IDW book. It's really good. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's been really good with Ryan Parrott. He's really good. 8,000. Be alright if it was a bit more, but what are you gonna do? Go Power Rangers is by Ryan Parrott again with Cena Grace. 7,000. Them two books are pretty good. I'm not sure how much control Cena Grace has over it, but his name's attached to it. But yeah, I think it's more Ryan Parrott. He's doing them two. Arrow, another one that's by bloody Alyssa Wong, called Sobolski a racist, gets hired and then writes an Asian superhero. 7,000. Aquaman Giant, I think that was done by Tom Taylor, I think, 7,000. Dead Eyes, I read like first two issues, and then I haven't been able to pick up the others, but it was really good. 6,000. Dead Eyes, he's like a stick up man. He comes back after 10, 15 years or something. He's gone broke, and he comes back out of hiding. Um, James Bond, Vita Ayala's diversity hire, black lesbian uh, with James Bond as a sidekick, 5,000. We all know she was just a diversity hire because of her sexual orientation and her skin color. That's all that was. And while you put her on a book, 5,000 on a James Bond book, that she turned James Bond into a side character and made the main character a woman of color, lesbian, feminist looking. Yeah, it's just awful. G.I. Joe, this is that other side G.I. Joe, the one with all the pink and purple. Terrible. Down to reprints. Rising Sun, I read number 1. It wasn't too bad by Ron Mars. He's a bit of a douche, I think, but what are you gonna do? Witchblade, I haven't read any of them. PSI Lord, Sword Daughter, Killlock, Grim Fairy Tales from Zenscope. I don't know if many people check them out, but I do like them. Most of the characters are all women, and they're all like alternate takes on fairy tales and stuff from lore. Like you've got Robin Hood, which is normally a man, but they've got Robin Hood as a woman. Robin Loxley. They've got like a Little Red Riding Hood. They turn into like a red agent, is what she's called. And in the Grim Fairy Tales universe, their mutants they're called Highborns, so they're kind of like Marvel's X-Men, but they're called Highborns mutants. They got a few good characters in there. They got like an assassin. They got Robin Hood. They got Grim Fairy Tales. I like her character. 3,000. So I think they've printed out of Philadelphia. I think so. Yeah, if he's interested in independent stuff and like seeing women that are drawn sexy, um, it's not really. It's you. If you look at them, it's all women, so you think it's all SJW, but it's not really. They're drawn sexy. They do military appreciation books and things like that. One of the latest miniseries I read was Gretel, which is a sort of an alternate take on the Hansel and Gretel uh, stories. But she's the witch. Like she's not a witch. She's immortal, and she's got to take down the witch that killed ate her brother. And without giving spoilers, each time she kills someone, a witch, she eats their heart, and that's how her powers grow. So that was really good. So yeah, Grim Fairy Tales, Zenscope Entertainment, check them out. They're out of Philadelphia. They're really good. It's a shame they don't sell more books, but they do have a lot of good books, and it's the shared universe is actually quite good. There's good continuity there. It's really good. Now we're just down into all the reprints, and this is the latest Robin Hood run, the Robin Hood Vigilante, 2,500. I like it. It's not too bad. The previous Robin Hood miniseries, Robin Hood Outlaw, was written by Howard Mackie, and he was the guy that wrote the Rogue and Gambit miniseries from back in the 1990s. Like that 4 issue Rogue run, which was really good. He wrote Robin Hood Outlaw. So if he's like Howard Mackie as a writer and interested in checking out indies, check Robin Hood out and Grim Fairy Tales. And yeah, we're getting down on the reprints now. So that's it, guys. That's the January Comichron sales figures. The industry same sales down each month compared to the previous year. Sales keep going down. So we're going to see what the industry is like in a few more years, but it's not doing too good, and we all know why. So that's the video, guys. Check it out. Be sure to like and subscribe and share the video. Much appreciated. Appreciate support. And see you for the next video. Thanks, guys.